Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport, and it's time to once again go back in time to the first season of Formula E. Now I think, was it last week or the week before, we watched Monaco, round 7. It was not the most exciting race in the world, but now I'm bringing you round 8 from Berlin in Germany. So hopefully this one's a lot better, because otherwise this series might get cancelled. There isn't much to say about... There's no changes. Funnily enough, at the start of the year, the grid was basically changing every race. Round 8 is the same as round 7, which I think was the same as round 6, which might have been the same as round 5. So it's kind of stabilised a little bit. Although this is the final time you will see Scott Speed and Charles Peak in Formula E. They leave us after these races. So unfortunately we do say goodbye to Scott Speed after this. And Charles Peak, if you're a big Charles Peak fan. Funny enough, both former Formula 1 drivers. So you can take that home with you. And so with that, I give to you Formula E from Berlin, round 8 of 2015.
Jarno Trulli in the pale blue and white Trulli car on the front row of the grid. Alongside him is the yellow, black and red apt car of Lucas di Grassi. Buemi and Heidfeld are on row 2. All 5 lights are on. And we go green in Berlin, and it's a good start from di Grassi. He'll have the inside line on the run down towards the first corner. Is he going to be close enough to challenge Trulli? No, not quite. Trulli holds the lead. A few lockups further back. Buemi tries to challenge. He might lose out to Nick Heidfeld as they all make their way safely through the first corner. Down towards the right kink at 2, and then it tightens into 3. And it's still, oh, and it's a spin, and it's Daniel Abt facing the wrong way. Meanwhile, Lucas di Grassi's taken the lead of the race. Di Grassi leads, Trulli second, Buemi third as they come out into turn 4. It's so wide here, one of the Virgin cars trying to force his way through, but it's di Grassi who leads. Then there's a gap back to Nico Prost. I wonder if he and Abt came together side by side between the Virgin and the Andretti further up in the field, but it's Lucas di Grassi who's managed to take the lead of the race away. Good start as well from Nelson Piquet Jr. as he tries to funnel his way through, but Trulli got away well, but he's lost the lead now to di Grassi, and that is going to be perfect news for the championship leader, Mike Conway.
I know, it was, I don't know how Lucas...
So, not as chaotic as the start in Monaco, although we did have one spinner, which was Daniel Abt, who won't be missed. This is a strange race, because what was Jarno Trulli doing in pole? There's no way he should have been in pole. I'm sure that was a mistake. But it's Lucas di Grassi who leads the way, and a very mixed start for Audi. We'll see how this race goes for them.
Down they come towards the final section. There's a dart to the inside. Look at that. What a decisive move from Jerome D'Ambrosio as he makes his way past Nico Prost. That's 5th place now for D'Ambrosio. Came out of nowhere, really. Just sent it up late in the day on the brakes. And now through comes Liuzzi. So Nico Prost dropping down the field like nothing else at the moment as they now filter their way under the canopy roof once again through the back part of the circuit. But Nico Prost losing 2 places in 2 corners there.
I know, yeah, D'Ambrosio dive up the inside into 10, and then, yeah, he just got done again by Liuzzi 2 corners later.
Lucas.
And there's Nico Prost being destroyed by Jerome D'Ambrosio and Vitantonio Liuzzi. This is a weird race. Why is Liuzzi up in the top 10? We have not seen the Trulli cars pretty much all year, apart from when they crash or spin or break down. Why are they both in the top 7 cars in the field? Will it last? It's very strange just seeing them around.
So there's the order on the left hand. Well, it's just disappeared, but there was the order. Now here's how Buemi did it. Used the fan boost into turn 12, and that's a sort of unconventional. That wasn't the sort of place we were expecting to see moves.
No, but, you know, there you go. There's another great move there by Nick. Showing that again. Yeah, but I think there's opportunity everywhere around this track, and like the driver said before coming here, it's going to be some good racing, and as you can see, it has been so far.
Yep, D'Ambrosio forcing his way past as well. And into the hairpin left-hander they came, and there is Liuzzi. So Liuzzi's got past Trulli too. So Tonio Liuzzi gets past his teammate and up into 5th position.
So some normalcy is restored, because Jarno Trulli's just lost about 4 places and he's dropped down to 6th behind his teammate. So both Trulli cars are still running in the top 6. Please tell me, like, why? Like, what's changed? Why are they suddenly able to do this? Lucas Di Grassi has a big lead. Sebastian Buemi is now chasing him down. Jerome D'Ambrosio is running in third, which is pretty impressive. Or was it Nick Heidfeld? Either Heidfeld or D'Ambrosio are running third or fourth. Both of them doing a pretty good job. And so race continues with the Trullies further back than they were.
Duval up the inside into the left-hander of 6, and Duval is through.
Yeah, good move. Little slide as well up the inside. That was nice and precise.
Liuzzi's made up 6 places. Trulli has dropped 5 places. Make that 6 because through goes Nelson Piquet Jr. So I wonder if Jarno's running into some sort of problem because he just can't keep anyone behind him. Stefan Sarazan is the next man to be on the outside. Tried to dart to the inside to cover it off. He's very brave turning in there. Trulli just got out of it in time.
Wow, brushed his nose, I think, as he turned in there, Stefan. Yeah, good move. Forced it, and it paid off. But yeah, he's getting eaten up now. Now Jeb is trying to make it happen. But it seems to be the way you get half.
Okay, so I think Trulli actually might be broken.
And Nelson really needs to get the most amount of points he can to, damage limitation for the championship.
And D'Ambrosio now is in front of Nick Heidfeld. Jerome D'Ambrosio is up into 3rd position. He's got past him somewhere out there on the circuit. And now the Dragon car will start to close in on Sebastian Buemi in front of him. That'll be the aim anyway. So local man Heidfeld, well, I'd say local, he's from Mönchengladbach over in the west of Germany, but he's at his home race nevertheless. He is now dropped into 4th position as they come across the line. And now I wonder what D'Ambrosio can do about Buemi in front of him. Here's the replay. Oh, late in the day.
Bang. Shut up the inside, a little lock up, but all under control. Yeah, that was a really well-timed move.
Heidfeld turned in as normal, and then, there's a Dragon car there. And didn't really defend that. I don't know if he really saw that one coming, Nick Heidfeld. So now you can...
Okay, so last 5 minutes or so, there has not been too much happening. It's been fairly straightforward. And we are sort of coming up to the time when, like, we're a few laps off the pit stops. It's getting pretty close to halfway now. Giro D'Ambrosio dive-bombed Nick Heidfeld. It was a pretty good move, and D'Ambrosio is really on it at this race. For whatever reason, Dragon, just like Trulli, have just sort of become very, very good. Just all of a sudden.
For 63 seconds, you can hear that rattling on the run down into the first corner. But he'll be pitting on this next lap or so. That's 17 of 33 here in Berlin. Lucas Di Grassi leading the way by 12 seconds, but we've got a fantastic fight over second place. And at the moment, a fantastic fight as well over 14th, 15th, 16th.
Yeah, Sam Bird, one of the quickest guys out there now. He was matching, the times that Lucas was doing earlier. So good job by Sam. Looks like he's got into the rhythm here a bit more.
17 laps of 33 completed, and look at the amount of energy that Piquet's got. If he can eke that out into one more lap, that is going to be good news for him, because he'll essentially start the second stint with 8% more battery than everyone else. In comes Di Grassi, race leader, Jean-Eric Vergne and Nelson Piquet going side by side, and that is Vergne going past Piquet to take 7th position away, and Piquet's not going to get too involved in this fight, I don't think, because he might be getting involved unintentionally.
Oh, three guys he's lost out to now.
To Costa and Bird both coming through. But he's going to stay out and everyone else is coming into the pits. So Nelson Piquet, the only man to stay out on the track and try and have another lap.
1.9.
1.9, the readout from Piquet. So he moves into the lead of the race. Everyone else is in the pits. So this is going to be a very, very busy pit lane as they all come in.
So, some pretty crazy stuff as we enter the pits. And Nelson Piquet, the only car going another lap at least, maybe 2. He had quite a lot of energy over everyone else. And, I keep forgetting Jean-Eric Vergne is racing in the first season. Because he's only kind of a bit part player. He's not really a front-running driver yet. But, yeah, Jean-Eric Vergne is up there in the top half of the field as well. At the front, Lucas Di Grassi still has a pretty big lead over Buemi and D'Ambrosio, and honestly, not much is really happening in the race, but it's not awful. There's some battling at least. The cars are a bit closer here than they were at Monaco, so it's not as boring as the last race. I'm still kind of waiting for either a big moment, a big crash, or a really good 2-3 car battle But we still got half a race to go, so maybe we'll get that. And there has been action in this race at least.
That power, one less lap really than anyone else, so he can push harder in theory for the second half of the race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, as you said, he hasn't gained really in terms of positions, but now he could really drive a little bit quicker than everybody else and try and work his way up through the field. But he needs to, you know, make up a few positions because obviously his championship rival Lucas is P1 right now and looking to take a victory.
So there you can see Degrassi has 90%, PK has 97%, and so he's got a lot more to play with. Now there's Sam Bird, that's bowled up the inside, and he's going to hit Jean-Eric Verne. The two managed to remain intact as Bird tried to force his way through into turn 9. Now down towards 10. This is the battle over 9th position, and Verne's holding it at the moment. Good drive from Sam Bird to start 15th and be up into 9th place, but we were saying earlier on how that's not really an overtaking opportunity, nor's this, the outside into turn 12, but he tried to force the issue there.
He did, and he's got some battle scars on his front wing to prove it. It's, yeah, he was trying to be a bit forceful there, but obviously he feels like he's a lot quicker than Jeb right now, and yeah, he's really eager to get by.
On board with Sam Bird, there's Alex Ty, the boss of the Virgin Racing team. As Bird gets on the brakes down towards turn 1. That was his team radio we just heard.
Okay, so one big change after the pit stops was Jerome D'Ambrosio has now jumped Sebastian Buemi for second place, and the rest of this race is probably going to be him chasing down Lucas Di Grassi, although I think Di Grassi still has quite a big lead. The only other really interesting thing was Nelson Piquet went a lap longer. He came out in about 8th behind Antonio Felix da Costa, who is another driver I completely forget is racing this far back. Although I think he won a race, didn't he? I can't remember now. He had Jean-Eric Verne behind him. Bird and Verne were getting a bit close and having a good battle. But Verne is currently holding Bird off. So we've got about 10 laps left. And it looks like it's getting a little bit spicy.
Position as well. It's going to make it a lot more difficult to regain that back towards the end of the race.
So the order changed a little bit there because, oh, here comes Daniel Abt up the inside of Trulli. Lockup on the front left, but Abt goes through to take 15th position away. The order at the front has all changed a little bit because Antonio Felix da Costa has served his drive-through penalty. Karun Chanduk is forcing his way past Trulli as well. So that is now 17th place for Chanduk, 16th place for Daniel Abt. And Da Costa served his time for minimum pit stop time. The reason they have 3 side by side. And Alguersuari going
through that.
Yeah, Alguersuari going wide and wider. Heidfeldt's just done the quickest first sector of anyone. No, sorry, a personal best first sector.
And Stefan Sarrazin as well is catching up to the back of that trio, which is going to make it more interesting. And yes, so the Venturi car is having a strong race here today.
And this is going to be a strong showing for Venturi, you're right, because they're down at the bottom of the team standings, but they'll get a good hunk of points from 4th and 6th positions. We're on board with Sam Bird. That's Jean-Eric Verne up in front of us as we come under the canopy, back out into the sunshine. A little bit out of shape there, Verne.
So there are some good battles all throughout the pack, especially at the back of the field. It's nice seeing cars battling over like 16th place, and we've seen some good battling with the Virgin and the Amlin Aguri car as well. Although something I mentioned right at the start of this series was that I did remember the first season having a lot of issues with penalties just seemingly being thrown around for whatever small reason they can find. And both Amlin Aguri cars of Antonio Felix da Costa and Salvatore Duran fell foul of the minimum. It's like must respect the minimum pit lane time. So when they're switching cars in their pit stop, they have to pit for a minimum of 1 minute and 3 seconds. So if you're 1 minute and 2 seconds, that's a drive-through penalty. If you're 1 minute and 4, I believe it'll be fine. You don't have to be exactly 1 minute 3, but you have to be at least 1 minute 3. And for some reason, Amlin Aguri fell foul. Why can't I say that? Fell foul of that time. So that's the kind of stupid thing they were giving out penalties for a lot in the first few seasons of Formula E. Mostly around the car swapping, I think, because obviously they're diving into a new car. So, I mean, it doesn't really change too much. It's not the leaders. And actually, out in front, I think Lucas Di Grassi has nearly a 20-second lead. So, that's pretty much that for the race with the lead anyway.
Into turn number 6. Heidfeld will surely cover the inside line. No, he decides not to. That allows Duval up the inside. And can Heidfeld get the cutback as we saw Buemi do earlier? No. Duval is through. Up into 4th place. Came out of nowhere. That would surprise you.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about maybe he's going to do it, but yeah, really good lunge up the inside, late braking. And I think he's caught Nick by surprise, really, that one. I don't think he expected him to be there.
And here comes Nelson straight away. Piquet up the inside into turn 10. So that's 5th place now for Nelson Piquet Jr. And he will set about trying to chase Loic Duval. Heidfeld's hanging on in there, but he's going to be on the outside line for the right-hander of turn 12. And he has to relinquish the position. So, Di Grassi, D'Ambrosio, Buemi, the top 3 remain unchanged. But now it's Duval, Piquet, Heidfeld, Sarrazin, Verne, Bird and Liuzzi.
That Heidfeld-Loic Duval battle has actually really been the highlight of the race. It's taken Duval a fair few laps to get past. Piquet does it pretty much straight away, and he had a good overtake on Stefan Sarrazin as well. But the Venturis have been driving very well in this race. They shouldn't be too disappointed with their performance. They have been really good. And Dragon as well. D'Ambrosio is in 2nd, Loic Duval is in 4th. It's an amazing race for them. And we are now nearing the end, with only a few laps left.
On board with Lucas Di Grassi. Done a great job today, really commanded the race, under control the whole way around. And all he's got to do is bring her home, and it's going to be a really nice victory for him.
Jarno Trulli has come into the pits, so the pole man's race is over. A real shame for him, but no shame for the app team. Lucas Di Grassi into the right-hander, into the left, underneath the famous canopy roof here at Tempelhof. There's just 2 corners left for the Brazilian. The championship leader is going to win for the first time since the opening race of the season in Beijing. It's victory for Di Grassi and for Abt. Their home race and its first position. Out of the final corner comes Piquet. He's not going to do enough to get 4th. Jerome D'Ambrosio has his first podium of the year in 2nd. Sebastian Buemi crosses the line with 1%. Same for Loic Duval, 1% across the line.
I have a problem with my car.
So, Lucas Di Grassi wins the first ever Berlin Eprix, except he didn't because his car failed scrutineering because it had a dodgy front wing or a different front wing or something dodgy about it. And so he was disqualified and replaced with Jerome D'Ambrosio, who took his first Formula E win and Dragon's first Formula E win. And Sebastian Buemi was 2nd and Loic Duval was 3rd, also for Dragon. So very good day for Dragon. Nelson Piquet and the Venturis moved up as well. And there were points for Vitantonio Liuzzi for the Trulli team. It was a better race than Monaco, which bloody thankful from my point of view. It still wasn't incredible, but there was at least a bit of action to look through. I relatively enjoyed this one. And there are not many rounds left. There are only 3 rounds after this. We have Moscow and then 2 races in London, which we will do very soon. But before we do that, let's look at the championship standings. So Dragon amazingly jumped from 6th to 2nd after 1 race. There were no points for Audi in this one, so they dropped down to 3rd. China Racing, they improved a little bit. And Virgin, they scored a few points, but not many. But it's Dams who lead the way. Jerome D'Ambrosio, after taking his first Formula E win, jumps up to 5th in the championship, just 1 point behind Nico Prost. Lucas Di Grassi, after being disqualified, drops to 3rd with Buemi, just 2 points off Nelson Piquet Jr. at the top of the standings. So that is all from me once again. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we will be doing the last 3 races from the first season of Formula E, and that is Moscow and 2 races in London. And after that, we will be back with more Formula E action, as well as covering new Formula E stuff as it happens. New season is actually only a few months away, and that is really scary, but I am looking forward to seeing a Maserati on a race circuit. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you for watching and have a good one.